And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're talking about Trapper Keeper, the board game. Now, Trapper Keepers have been around since the 70s, but they were extremely popular, and the ones that you know and talk about, if you are nostalgic towards them like I am, are from the late 80s to around 1995. Extremely popular, selling millions of dollars worth each year. If you had one of these, you were cool. Teachers weren't the biggest fan of them, but students really liked them, and unfortunately they've died off with the basically death of a lot of paper products at school. But this idea of having a Trapper Keeper with the notebook inside and the folders that matched it and the funky things, whether it was a soccer or the puppies or the horse, there's so many ones that as soon as I see it, I'm like, I've seen that one somewhere. So this is a game based on that. But that's the theming of the game, which Prospero Hall, who are the designers of this game, they do a really good job at bringing that theming to life. But what I want to look at here is also the game itself. This game is what is known as a drafting game. When it's your turn, you get to draft, take some cards from the table. At the end of the day, you're going to have a bunch of papers in your folder that you bring home for your parents to sign from quizzes and homework and things like that, and you get points for the different ones you collect in different ways. Here's how you play it. Now you're going to be scoring points in this game by collecting different papers that you're going to be putting into your folder. Each player is going to get one of these folders at the beginning of the game. And as the game goes by, you're going to be collecting these cards. This is done in a pretty simple way. Each round you'll turn over the top one of these locker cards here, these time cards. You'll put a certain number there to show you the rounds of the game. Then when it's a player's turn, they can collect the top card of any row or any column, or the way the lockers show here, the red lockers. So I could also collect this card, and this card. Now when you collect cards, you do not immediately turn over the new revealed cards that are there. You will only reveal cards when there are 3 or less here, and at that point you flip over all the face down cards. Also, when a pile completely runs out, at that point you can no longer pull from that, but you can still grab everything in that row or column. And you're going to keep doing that. These cards will change in how their pattern works, any 2 cards, etc. So players will have a choice. When you take the cards from here, however you take them, you will then decide to put all of them on the blue side or on the red side of your folder. And you'll just stick them in here and keep them where they'll be scored at the end of the game. So each thing in this game is scored differently. Quizzes are going to be worth 1, 2, or 3 points. It will show you at the bottom of the card how many points it is. So you can see this math quiz here is worth 2 points. There's also secret notes. Now secret notes, you can get secret notes from a variety of people. So here there's 4 different people and they'll send you a secret note. And so let's say I have these 3 from Lily, Archer, and Zuzu. 3 different secret notes is 6 points here. And you can have multiple sets. Homework, whoever has the most homework at the end of the game will get 6 points, and whoever has the second most will get 3 points. Detentions are great because they're worth 2 points each, unless you have the most, in which case they're worth 0. And then you have report cards, which are worth 1 point for every homework you have, and field trips, which are worth 4 points, but both of these do not work unless you have a corresponding parental signature that you can tie with one of these. Now, I mentioned that when you take the cards, you're sticking them on the blue or the red side of your folder. At the end of the game, you'll take all your cards and spread them out like this, if it's on the red side, or the other way if you put them on the blue side. And you're also going to compare the different kinds of symbols. So you'll call out the 5 different symbols. So the hearts and tic-tac-toes and cubes and smiley faces and S's. And whoever has the most of each type will get 5 points, and the second most will get 2 points. All of that is kept track on a little scoring pad here, and whoever has the most is the winner. components for this game are great. You have the Trapper Keeper here, which is actually not the best quality, but hey, it's a Trapper Keeper. That's what it is, where you will store everything inside the game. And you can actually buy the game in multiple different covers. I picked this one here, the My Little Pony ripoff, one that was so popular. These are so authentic, I feel. I mean, they're small, obviously, and I really like what's written on the cards. Every card is different. So here you have homework, and it talks about my book report on the Odyssey, and the French quiz, and the history quiz, and different signatures on these. And it's just a secret note from Lily. It's really cool. Not only that, the doodles. Who made those S's when they were a kid? I mean, everyone did. I really like how all this stuff looks. The component here is really cool. You also have this apple, which is just to mark the person who turns over the time cards and goes first each round. And these cards are pretty simple and easy to figure out. And the concept of the game here, to grab 3 in a row, a column, or in the pattern shown on this card, works really well. Component-wise, I'm really happy. The theme is extremely strong. Now, I tend to like little drafting games like this. A very similar game to this one is Cat Lady, once you have a grid of cards and you're also drafting here. Trapper Keeper is that same way. You got 9 cards out in the middle of the table. Give or take, as the game goes by, one of the piles might run out pretty quickly, and you just draft 3 of them, or sometimes less. But you're grabbing these cards and you're just trying to get ones that are going to give you points. Like I said, the attention slips are great because they're 2 points, but having the most is 0. But they also have the most doodles on them, which could be a lot of points. You could collect a lot of detentions, get no points for them, but that can help you quite a bit when trying to score the most doodles. Now, this game seems maybe more thinky than it is, and it might have maybe 1 or 2 more ways to score than some people are used to, but this is kind of like a little step, I think, if you play a really basic drafting game like, say, Sushi Go or Cat Lady, like I just mentioned. This is a small step up, but I don't think it's that complex. It's easy for people to get into, and the theme is just gushing out. I really like this. I mean, it's the good parts of school, right? You know, you don't have to actually do the homework. You don't actually have to take home the detention slip and have your parents sign it with the dread and trying to figure out if you could avoid that or not, or forge a signature. I would never have done such a thing. It's just collecting papers and getting points. But the papers look good. The notes look like the notes people sent back and forth in school. And it just looks like an authentic, albeit miniature, Trapper Keeper. I like the game because it is nostalgia, sure. But nostalgia does not win me over completely on games. You can see many games where I like the theme, but the game itself wasn't good. But this game is pretty solid. Just collecting 3 cards in your turn, deciding which side of the folder to put them on, and at the end. Now, scoring takes a bit. It's not really long, but you might score for 5 minutes, which the game itself is only 15, 20 minutes. It's not a very long game. But I think that you will find that people are going to really enjoy this. When I pulled this out, my wife just went bonkers. She's like, I remember these. I'm like, yeah, you do. She was excited about it because of the theme, and then I was able to show her an actual good game inside it too. So that's pretty solid. I think there are 3 different covers for this game. I think the game inside each is identical, so you pick the cover that you like the best. But this is not just a marketing ripoff. This is not just a, hey, get it because remember Trapper Keeper? Buy this. Nostalgia junk. It's not nostalgia junk. It's nostalgia, actually a really solid, decent game. Check it out. Trapper Keeper, the board game. Dice Tower Judgment approved.